And here's the part that people don't tell you. You can live years in that low grade overdrive and just think that it's normal. You call it just being tired, but it's not a personality trait. It's your nervous system throwing up that white flag. Burnout rarely explodes, it just leaks. And by the time that you notice the puddle, you've been dripping energy for months. This is Hustle Rebels, a space for people who know how to grind but are starting to question the cost. I spent years as a firefighter paramedic living in high alert mode, thinking that burnout meant I just wasn't resilient enough. Turns out my nervous system never got the memo that the danger had passed. And I see the same thing in leaders, professionals, and high achievers everywhere. They're successful on paper, but exhausted underneath it. This episode is part of the Hustle Rebels Foundation series, exploring burnout through the lens of the nervous system as an economy and how to stop living in deficit. This isn't about quitting your job or blowing up your life. It's sustainable success, regulating your system so the life that you've worked so hard to build doesn't quietly drain you. If you're done white-knuckling your way through a life that looks good on paper but feels expensive on the inside, you're in the right place. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We can hop right in. Have you ever thought about your nervous system like a credit score? If your body had a FICO rating for stress, would it be excellent or somewhere deep into collections? Most of us are carrying around emotional and energetic debt that we didn't even fully realize we took out. Every time you say, I got it, or sure, I'll handle that, or I'm fine, that's another swipe on your nervous system's credit card. But here's the kicker. You don't need to do more or hustle harder in this hustle culture. You don't need another morning routine or another biohack or productivity planner. Trust me, I have a copious amount of pretty much empty ones. You just need to start reading your body statements that they've been sending to you because your nervous system keeps records, whether you're paying attention or not. Don't wait for the overdraft notice to hit before you start checking the balance. For me, it really showed up in the most ordinary of ways. It wasn't on a call, it wasn't in a crisis, just me sitting in a car, parked in a parking lot. Some nights after a 24-hour shift or after being at Health Express. Other times it was before walking into a gig or after a gig or before a client session. The engine could be off, the keys in my hand. I could just be sitting there. The radio's off, silence, seatbelt still on. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 20. Not because I was being dramatic, but because I just couldn't make myself move. The world outside of that windshield, it just felt really loud. And for once, my body was refusing to keep up with it. That was my nervous system throwing up the insufficient funds alert. Burnout in your body doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just goes silent. And that silence, that's your warning. Don't wait until you can't turn the key before you realize that you're on empty. At that time, I wasn't lazy. I was just emotionally and energetically bankrupt. I'd been taking out stress loans for years, saying, I'll rest later or I'll sleep when I'm dead. I can handle it. I can push through. The minimum payments were Red Bulls, caffeine, humor, and pretending that I was fine. The interest rate, though, that was like anxiety, brain fog, and that weird numbness that made literally the smallest of tasks feeling dead heavy weight. But your nervous system runs like an economy. Every stressor, every decision, every emotional suppression that you keep pushing down, It all counts as a transaction. When you constantly say yes, when your body is screaming no, you're swiping that card again and again. But the thing is, your body is generous. It can take a beating and it'll spot you energy for a while. It's got adrenaline, it's got cortisol, it'll give you some caffeine. But eventually your line of credit, it's going to run out. And when that happens, you're going to start seeing some overdraft fees in real life. You're going to forget what you were saying mid-sentence. You're going to snap at someone over literally nothing. You can't focus on some of the most basic tasks without 12 mental detours. Or you could just go completely numb. No highs, no lows, just static. And it's not weakness, it's your nervous system freezing your account. It's saying you've maxed out, I'm cutting you off, all access, until you start paying something back. In neuroscience, that wear and tear is called allostatic load. The debt your body accrues from running on stress hormones just for a little too long. Your sympathetic system is the spender, fight, flight, and perform. Your parasympathetic is the saver, rest, digest, and recover. When you live in that chronic stress, that sympathetic system, it never clocks out. You're in overdrive. You're overdrawing your energy account every single day, every single hour. That's why a vacation just doesn't fix it. That's why sometimes you need a vacation from a vacation. We say it all the time because you can't pay off a mortgage with a weekend getaway. Don't confuse temporary relief with actual regulation. It's just refinancing your bank account, but it's not just the big withdrawals that bankrupt you. It's the little leaks that drain your account before lunch. For me, it looks like this. The group text I just didn't mute. Even though that ding, it fucking frustrates me so much. Can't handle it. The email tab I just kept open just in case. The smile I keep putting on for someone when all I want is silence. None of those feel like a big deal in the moment, but all together, they keep my body in a constant red alert. And here's the part that people don't tell you. You can live years in that low grade overdrive and just think that it's normal. You call it just being tired. We joke that, oh, I run on coffee on chaos. But it's not a personality trait. It's your nervous system throwing up that white flag. Burnout rarely explodes, it just leaks. And by the time that you notice the puddle, you've been dripping energy for months. It's kind of like a hot water tank. For those of you who own a home, you know exactly what I mean. You don't realize it's leaking until one morning, it's gone, it's flooded, and it just shit the bed. And then you're standing in a puddle of chaos and you're just wondering how something seemed totally fine yesterday and now it has completely wrecked your week. Most likely your basement, and it's just fucked. Don't let that be your nervous system economy. You don't have to wait until it breaks to fix the leak. And don't just keep patching it up like that commercial, whatever that shit is, right? I should probably know it because we've seen that commercial so many times where he slaps it on those leaks. You can just start tightening the valves now, which brings me to the question, how do you patch it? How do you start rebuilding your nervous system credit? Step 1, awareness audit. Start noticing those micro tensions. Is your jaw tight when you open that mailbox or that inbox? Are your shoulders up to your ears at that text notification? Or when you're driving, it's like Massachusetts drivers were driving like this all the time. They're like assholes. We're so pissed off. Those are withdrawals. Step 2, micro pauses. Before you leave your car, before you walk into work, before you answer that message, stop. Take 10 seconds. Exhale. Let your shoulders drop a little bit, even if it's just 1% drop. Let your body know that your transaction is done, it's complete, before you start the next one, which is whatever you're doing next. Step 3, mute your inputs, notifications, news, group chats, social media. You're not missing out. You're conserving your capital. Step 4, language shift. This is a big one. You want to replace I'm choosing to. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between pressure and danger. It just thinks, I'm going to die. So change the language. And once you change the language, you change the physiological response. Regulation isn't about control. It's about capacity. Control burns energy. Capacity builds it. So you don't manage stress. You manage your spending. That's how you start rebuilding your nervous system wealth. Here's your reflection for this week. I want you to ask and reflect on these questions. If your nervous system had a bank statement, what would it show? What are your biggest emotional expenses? What drains you? And what are the subscriptions that you just might have forgotten to cancel? What are the small deposits that actually make you feel rich and calm? What brings you that peace? Because calm isn't earned, it's budgeted. And the more you understand your own nervous system economy, the less that you're going to confuse exhaustion for effort. Don't wait for the burnout repo man to come and collect. Don't get to that point. Start making your small payments toward your own peace today. In the next episode, we're going to talk about your hidden fees, the habits, people, and coping mechanisms that keep auto-charging your nervous system every single month. We all have them, right? Even when you swear that you have moved on. Spoiler alert, you're still paying for some of them. So check your balance. Stop paying for peace you never actually feel. If this hits home, hit that subscribe button or at least hit pause before you walk into your next thing. Because honestly, your nervous system deserves a better credit score. I'm very glad that you guys decided to join today. I look forward to creating some more content for you guys. As always, put some comments down there so I get to see what you guys resonated with, what you guys enjoyed, what you guys would like to hear more of, and stay tuned for the next episode. Regulate.